Man, that water is high. This video is brought to you by Sutco Transportation. Sutco is now hiring Class 1 drivers in Alberta and British Columbia. Go to sutco.ca to apply and use promo code QUADFAN to get an extra $100 on your first payday. Sutco's not paying 87 cents a mile. Pretty cool. I don't mind the pay raise. How are you guys doing today? I'm stuck in rain. Rain, 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 go away, come back another day. Cat stuck behind a truck apparently. Okay, so where are we? And what's the weather? Well, rainy. 5 degrees Celsius, so downright cold. It's June 14th. If it's 5 degrees down here, what is it on top of the pass? Because I am once again going to go over the pass again today. Kootenai Pass. So we are on Highway 41 in Idaho, northbound approaching Old Town. And we'll drive into Washington and drive through Newport and north. I've taken you guys down this road before. But yesterday when I talked to dispatch, I was going to go to Klesnikoff, Mass Timber, load there, and head for Moth Hill, which is near Seattle. But they've changed my load, so now I am loading still at Klesnikoff, Mass Timber, but then I'm headed over Kootenai Pass and then headed south to Spokane. So repeating the exact road I ran yesterday. Down to the US here again, so new location I've never been to. I haven't Googled it yet, so. And yeah, I Google every single location I go to before I go there. That way I have a basic lay of the land, at least how the lay of the land used to be. Often I go to construction sites and everything has changed, but get a good idea of how the roads go and how the yards are and stuff like that. It makes life a little easier when you get there. With all this rain, in the chat we were talking about tread depths. In Australia, tires become illegal at 4 millimeter. Here in Canada, in the summer we can go to 3.5 millimeter. No, in the winter we can go down to 3.5 millimeter. In the summer, we can go all the way down to 1 millimeter and be legal. But remember, if you're down to 1 millimeter and you're driving on heavy rain, like we have been all this time, lots of rain, 1 millimeter of tread does not have enough room to move all this water out of the way, and you will lose traction. I measure my tread once a week. I've made myself this spreadsheet. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks of trucks I can get onto this spreadsheet, and that way I can tell exactly how fast a tire is wearing. I've actually found an air leak because of the tread wear. I'm like, wait, that tire is wearing faster than normal. Let's check tire pressures. You thump the tires every day. I don't check pressures every day. Oh yeah, that tire pressure is lower than the other one. Okay, let's top up the... Oh look, there's a nail in the tire. Let's go fix the nails. So measuring tread depths can be quite advantageous. This truck's got a bunch of shingles. Hopefully he's not going the same way I am. He's pretty slow. Entering Old Town, population 190. Small town. But I think most people live in Newport. Newport side's definitely bigger. Going to different directions. So I'm in Idaho right now, but that car, oncoming traffic is in Washington. There we go. We're in Washington. We're in Newport. Newport's a pretty cool town. It's one of those towns if you want to get away from it all, but still live near some civilization. This would be a place to go. Speed limit is still 25. Speed limit is still 25 miles. 25 miles. $55. biggest back the tread depth. I haven't measured them this week yet because it just keeps raining and raining and raining, and I really don't feel like going out there unless I have to be out there. I'm assuming my next load's going to be a tarp load. Yippee! Klesnikoff mass timber is almost always a tarp load. It's definitely out in the middle of nowhere up this way. Just wilderness. I guess it's not true because there's lots of roads in here. True wilderness wouldn't have any roads. Go northern Canada, then there's some true wilderness. Not see any wildlife this week. Don't have my wildlife spotter with me. Got our vacation coming up in what is it? Could be a couple of weeks away, maybe a month away. I think it's about a month away, probably 4 or 5 weeks away, 4.5, I guess. July, it's second last week of July. why was I bringing up vacation? Oh yeah, my wildlife spotter, Jess. She will, after vacation, come with us a little more than she has pre-vacation. So maybe 2 weeks with me and 1 week off, and 2 weeks with me, 1 week off. Maybe that kind of a pattern. Oh yeah, we needed to follow up on 2 things. One was from last week, and then yesterday, the stolen Sutco truck. So yeah, someone came into the Sutco yard. Unclear if someone forgot to lock the gate or not, but came into the yard, cut GPS to both the trailer and the truck, drove the truck from West Kelowna to Kelowna, dropped the trailer in a location, and then parked the truck in a different location. That was on Sunday night. I think the intention was to get their own truck, hook up to our trailer, and deliver it first thing in the Monday morning to one of their own lumber mills or something. Because the value of the load is, well, it's quite valuable. Unfortunately, the truck driver had left his passport in his truck over the weekend. Don't do that, because he now no longer has a passport. Had to do the whole identity theft thing, apply for a new passport, so you can't go to the US now. But yeah, they found the truck and trailer just by driving around in town. Had a couple of people driving around in town looking. There's not that many places you can park a truck and trailer, so they went down all the obvious streets, found both the truck and the trailer, and stole it back. I've got a couple of you guys that truck all the time. Does your company have GPS tracking on your trailer? I've never heard of companies that have GPS trackers on their trailers. We do, and they're hidden. So how did this person know to disconnect the GPS on the trailer? The funny thing is, these modern trucks, like they've got so many built-in trackers that it's impossible to steal the thing and not get it tracked down, unless you really know where all the sensors and trackers are, because there's built-in trackers. From Cummins, tracks their engines. The trucking company that most of our trucks are leased from tracks our trucks. We've got our own GPS built in. Most likely the truck and trailer will be found again. But I think most truck and trailer thefts are for the load. break in, move the truck and trailer, get the load off, and then just abandon the truck and trailer before they've been tracked down. The goal was to get the load off the trailer, right? That's what most of the thefts of truck and trailer are. Not very common having truck and trailer stolen, but it does happen. But we got everything back except for the driver's passport. So I think Sutka's going to be a little more stringent on making sure we have that gate locked. Maybe it was locked. What if it was an inside person that has worked for Sutco in the past and the password on the gate hasn't been changed since then? Or one of the other companies that works out of the same yard. What if it's an ex-employee of one of them? So even if the gate was locked, we need to change the password more often. Last week, Jess had those issues at customs. We were kind of harassed on Thursday night. Jess had to prove that she worked for Sutco or doesn't work for Sutco. She's just a passenger. The custom officer had never heard of a spouse coming with before, and all of that. So her name wasn't on the manifest. Neither was my name. My name wasn't on the manifest either. So I've talked to our offices and broker, and there is no place for us to add a name to come into Canada on the manifest. That doesn't exist. The officer just didn't know what they're talking about there. There is no space to fill that information out. Did the officer know this? He's trying to trap us into some kind of lie, or did the officer just not know this? I don't know. Either way, Sutco's given us a letterhead or a printout of and emailed it to us with signatures stating that yes, Sutco knows that Jess is a passenger and doesn't work for Sutco. So at least we have that. And it's the first time that's happened in the last 5 years of trucking across the border regularly. So, well, Jess hasn't come in with during the last 2 years. But now that she's with again, and she was with before the 2 lost years, so never ever has that ever come up as an issue. So it was weird. Jess asked me to do a bunch of research this week and ask people questions. She didn't want to come with again until we had asked those questions to make sure that it wasn't us now, it was the officer. We're pretty sure it was just the officer. Either the officer didn't know or the officer was playing games. then I guess every single workplace has their bad apples. So every now and then, I guess we run into one of those bad apples. And even I can be a bad apple. I have days that are bad apples, right? So if you run into me on a day that I'm extremely frustrated, you'll walk away going, man, that guy's a bit of a jerk, isn't he? When 99% of my days are, the response would be, hey, that guy's a nice, cool guy to hang out with or to talk to. I don't really hang out. To interact with. Every now and then, I might not be a cool guy to interact with. So everybody has their bad days too. Maybe it was just that officer's bad day. Welcome to Cusick. I think one of you guys that watches my channel lives at the Cusick Ranch that we just passed. Cusick is actually a bigger town than it looks like. It's just off the main road. Right along the side of the river, which makes sense. Originally the town would have been built on the river. The only transport here would have been along the river. If you're taking your paddle boat up the Columbia River and then up Ponderay River and find this big open meadow fields over here. You know, hey, this would be a cool place to set up a homestead and do some farming. Maybe the town started because there was a native village here and they were trading with the native peoples. It's actually probably more likely. Did some fur trading. I guess they would have done food trading too. They would have traded for food because you're traveling up a river long distances and you're going to need food. Guess I can turn that off. VHF radio. Picking up an emergency dispatch signal somewhere. water is high. Like this little creek is now a really wide river. All this rain's not going to help. We might have some flooding issues. We've been talking about it for weeks now, that will there be or will there not be flooding. I think a lot of our rivers are very close to flood levels. All of this rain, it's still cool outside. All of this rain, and then if all of a sudden next week they're forecasting extreme heat next week, if that actually happens, that snow is going to melt, and within 2 or 3 weeks from now, we'll be talking about serious flooding. The rain kind of had stopped, it's turning up again. The road's actually dryish over here. I was kind of getting optimistic that I might get the tarp out of rain. Keep trying to get all my rain gear dried off. All the wet clothes I keep bringing into the truck and trying to dry off, but wet clothes get stinky. So my rain gear, my jackets, it's like, come on, dry out before everything becomes stinky. Kind of failing on that. Because it's just wet. Never has a chance to dry all the way out. This farmer over here looks like he's got no bales left in his storages. No bales in there. No bales in those sheds. Those sheds are all completely empty. And so is that shed, completely empty. So he is completely out of hay bales. Looks like it's getting pretty busy there. It's a Bible camp. School must be out and the Bible camp is open. Like, there's actually people walking across the road, which no need to walk across the road because there's an underpass. But we'll have to keep that in mind when driving through the area. Of course, going to camp and this week will all be rain, 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 and everybody will be complaining it's so cold and rainy, and next week everybody will be complaining how hot it is if the forecast is accurate. I've never gone to like a summer camp or anything like that, so I don't know what that would be like. I think kids that go to summer camp are usually parents trying to get rid of their kids because they don't want to pay for a babysitter, and let the kids go to camp for a couple of weeks and learn some survival lessons and life lessons. Because both parents are at work. My mom never had a away from home job. Like, she took on a lot of at home jobs, like including some like factory jobs that she could do at home. Just because she was at home didn't mean she didn't work long hours. She worked long hours. Started in the morning before we were awake and kept working till we were asleep. This pulled is where Jess and I slept in last week. Can't remember which day. Slept over here. And then that's about 40 minutes away from the border, so in the morning we got ready, did our pre-trip, started the day at 7 a.m. pre-trip, and then drove to the border. And the border opens at 8 a.m. That was early in the week last week. I can't remember. Weeks ago is actually easier to remember than last week. Bit of a rush, are we? Why is 2 weeks easier to remember than last week? Because my videos go out 2 weeks after I record them, so you guys are always there commenting about stuff that happened to me 2 weeks ago. Sure is a beautiful drive up here though. Very relaxing. Unless you're going as fast as that guy. Corner coming up can catch you off guard. Suggested speed limit 35 miles per hour. Yeah, I would agree with that suggestion. I'll take 25 miles per hour. Just listen to the signs. If you don't know the road, just listen to the sign. You often see black lines going around this corner or impact points against the no posts. People that came around the corner too fast. And this one catches me off guard more often than that one, because 40 is too fast for this corner. So the sign is wrong. You really want to do 30, 35. Back on cruise control, back to relaxing. I think the idea of not working out in rain is kind of gone. So I got a question. I've had comments every now and then about people that don't dislike my shoulder cam. Most of the time, I only get comments of things you guys dislike. So, if you guys like the shoulder cam, please let me know. I think anyone that's really perceptive will notice how much I use the shoulder cam on how much I think the scenery is beautiful. If the shoulder cam gets used for 30 seconds every 3 to 5 minutes, that means I think we're driving through some spectacularly beautiful scenery, and I'm trying to use the shoulder cam just to break up the video a bit. If I'm using the shoulder cam for a minute and then the dash cam for 2 minutes and then back to a whole minute of shoulder cam again, it means I think the scenery is pretty boring and the inside of the cab is more interesting to watch than the scenery outside. I know in the past a lot of you guys have said you guys really love the shoulder cam for the way I've got it set up so you guys can watch the mirror. And you can see the steering wheel and my hands and all that stuff. But yes, it is darker, especially on dark days like this, using the shoulder cam instead of the dash cam. And the shoulder cam is only 1080p when the dash cam is 4K. Although I render the whole video at 4K. If you guys are not watching on 4K and you're watching on a big screen, consider switching to 4K. Looks a lot prettier. Just realized that cell phone mount on the toward the passenger side literally never gets used. Usually my cell phone is laying down on the floor out of the way, or usually it's on the floorboards on the passenger side, laying down there somewhere. I don't know, I'm just not the type of person that needs to be looking at their cell phone all the time, or be on the cell phone talking all the time. Phone rings and it's way down there. I have my Raycon Bluetooth earbuds within easy reach. Just pop those in and answer the call Bluetooth. I guess I could move the cell phone mount to this side over here, put my phone in there, shooting video, I could see the video. I don't know. I don't know if I would actually use it or not. Maybe I should try it. But then, if the cell phone is within reach, maybe I'd be tempted to use the cell phone. That'd be a big no-no. Either way, I've got to remind myself to take the mount off where it is now. It's kind of useless. We use the mount for live streams, but we've got a new mount for that. Last week we never had a good opportunity to do a live stream. Tried a couple of times, but it wasn't good cell service. Talking to a forklift driver, he goes, I was yesterday in Preston, and he just goes, I'm so glad I'm not a trucker anymore. Work all week and have 36 hours off. Only spend 2 nights and 1 day at home and then back on the road. I'm like, yeah, I couldn't do that either. I spend 2 or 3 nights at home and then 2 days. 48 hours. At least 48 hours every weekend. "36 hours is the legal requirement in Canada. 34 hours is the legal requirement in the US. But I want 48 hours. That's also part of what Sudco. I don't have a problem with that. For some reason I thought that sign said 45. Still 55. We're coming into Ione and it just feels like you should be slowing down already. 195. Welcome to Ione. We'll call it a day right as we leave out of Ione. Taking up a whole hour of your day already. Biking in this weather would kind of suck. I guess that depends on the gear you're wearing. Remember what was the last summer when we went on vacation to Vancouver Island? We bought some really high-end rain gear. And I'm not using that high-end rain gear in the truck here. I'm using cheap garbage rain gear. That high-end rain gear, we didn't care. It was pouring rain, just didn't care. It was just beautiful to go explore in pouring rain. This is such good gear. It kept us bone dry inside. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate the support. For those of you that want to support me monetarily, I get asked that every now and then. The best way to do that would be to hit that join button down below for 99 cents or $5 or $25. You get bonus videos every weekend. They're just for people that want to. And of course, if you just want to do a one-time thing, hit that thanks button down below and make your comments stand out with something cool. Hey, there's a truck on an abandoned railroad. They must, because I think a week or two ago I saw a truck on there. They must really be thinking of bringing the railroad back. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. That's always the most important. If you guys watch this video, that's all I can ask for. Thank you. Really appreciate it. I'm out of here. Looking forward to reading your comments. You guys rock.